All right, we're going to move into Coach Lynn. Very excited to hear what he has to share. I'm going to do a little intro on him and then I will spotlight him and he will tell us about himself and his journey and present this. All right, so Coach Lynn, you can see his transformation photo here. He lost 75 pounds in 6 months, in a year, question mark, I think. Right, okay, cool. He's been vegan for 10 years, vegan for all the reasons, animal, climate, health, everything. He got into fitness because he lost weight so many times, but this time was the most he has ever lost. During the process, he learned a ton and wanted to help others get the same benefits of feeling better, which he got from losing weight. He brings all of his expertise to his clients, which I love. His biggest fitness hurdle to before he hired a coach was believing that he could lose the weight, but struggling to convince himself that he wanted to lose the weight, that mindset. And when he decided to hire a coach, he said he realized that he didn't know everything, and in order to learn it on his own, it would take a lot of time and mental energy to try to figure everything out by himself. His greatest strengths now, he says, I'm confident I can keep the weight off because of how much I learned from a coach, and he also sees his food differently. So, everybody, welcome Lynn. Very excited to hear what you're going to share with us.
Hey guys, I want to share. Can I share my screen?
Should be able to, yeah. Yeah, let me
Let me see. Yeah, here we go.
got it. All right.
Uh, okay.
Perfect. Looks great.
I lost. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure I can see the chat.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I can't see anybody, but I can only see the chat.
All right, give him some love
Um,
in there.
Okay, cool. So yeah, this is uh, sort of my perspective on weight loss, and also um, uh, pretty tough to follow John, and also open for Alex. But I'll be going sharing my perspective. Okay, so my Instagram is off court vegan fitness. It's because I played tennis for a very long period of time. I started when I was 16, still play till this day. And I didn't mean to change it, but here is my first slide. Um, so when it comes to weight loss, it's really ultimately like the more strict you are, the better results you essentially get, right? So when you take a lot of when you cut a lot of corners, like things start to not really go your way. And essentially like I like to think the rule of thumb is like the more you sort of are strict about what you're doing is the better the results you get. Um, so again, here's my uh, uh, transformation you saw earlier with Alex. Um, I lost over 75 pounds within about 7 months. It was like December 2024 to June 2025. Yeah, so it was a little bit over 75 pounds, and yeah, I felt a lot better afterwards. It was my fourth serious attempt. I had tried many times before. I didn't, so once I lost the weight previously, I was like, oh, I can just, now I can just eat whatever I want. Well, it's not really true. You still gotta kind of like not fall back into old habits. So I had to sort of learn it the hard way and eventually lose it again for the fourth time. This attempt, I learned the most about weight loss and the body and how to lose weight. And yeah, I really enjoyed the process, and I really thought that like the more knowledge I got, the better results I would get as well. And in order to lose so much weight, like I really believe that uh, belief itself is very important. Um, and if you don't believe, then you don't really have a reason to start. Um, and this is my SpongeBob pictures. And when it comes to belief, like you have to make sure that, you understand that like you're the only person in the way of yourself. And the only thing you really need to do is just flip on that switch of saying, you know what, I accept that I can do this and I will try to do this. And sure, there's a lot of reasons why it can be difficult. And so I'm gonna try and go through some of these things that I think are obstacles for a lot of people to in order to just believe. Um, but again, like I said, it wouldn't there wouldn't be any reason if we didn't believe, then we wouldn't have any reasons to try. And first and foremost, weight loss is difficult. There's so many obstacles that we have to overcome in order to lose weight that, it can be, just really difficult to just even know where to start, who to listen to, and sort of get any sort of grip on what to do. And if it was easy, I wouldn't need to make a presentation. We wouldn't have the summit. Obesity rates would drop, and the weight loss industry just wouldn't exist. And another reason why it's hard to believe sometimes it's, getting the information can be challenging because, we don't know where we can get our information because a lot of the times it's contradicting. Uh, a lot of it could be misinformation that you run into, and it's not really helpful. There's a lot of people that also have like ulterior motives with when it comes to trying to help you lose weight. Maybe they're just trying to make a buck, but you know, um, I don't know. I think that um, even though you get good information, you also might not know that it applies to you right now. Like, so also be so yeah, I guess it's a sort of a balance there too. Um, another reason why it's hard to believe it can be failing in previous weight loss attempts. So it can easily just be an excuse why weight loss isn't for someone since they attempted and then they failed. But setbacks are just part of the journey, and that just tra helps us on our way to transform uh, on our future approaches. Um, and also each failure is an opportunity to learn, adapt, ultimately build a more resilient mindset. Again, I had to lose weight about 4 times, and each time I learned more and more. With this last time being the most that I've ever learned. I guess to go into a little bit more, what I did is like I followed the Vegans Who Live podcast. I had a coach, like we mentioned, and just tried to be like a sponge to see how do I, get rid of this weight once and for all. Okay. And messing up can be a big issue too that helps, I mean, that causes us to not want to believe. I'm bringing up this slide for which is like about tennis because I play tennis, and when it comes to messing up, you really want to reset. And how does it relate to tennis? Well, in tennis, like the top pros are able to reset anytime during the match. So when they're losing, they're able to just kind of in their mind start over and take over the match so that the match goes in their favor. Um, and being able to say, you know what, I made a mistake. Let me cut my loss and get back on the horse, right? And um, that is really important because the sooner you again cut your loss, the essentially the better. Um, I put this stat in here. He's Roger Federer is my favorite tennis player. Um, he won about 20 Grand Slams, and he's only won about 54% of all of his singles matches, or yeah, matches. Or sorry, of all points played, sorry. Uh, and that's 1,500 matches and only 54. So that's a slight majority of points that he's won that, was able to help him win 20 Grand Slams. So, just because, let's say you think you're messing up a lot, you still can keep trying and reset and uh, get back into the groove of things towards your weight loss goals. All right. And give me one second. So I made this slide because a lot of times, um, you know, we might think weight is just our identity. Um, but I don't believe that our weight is really our identity. But some things that people will say is I've been so big my whole life, that's why I'll always be big, or I'm just not someone who can lose the weight. Um, but in my opinion, our condition or the state that our body is in doesn't really define who we are as a person. So, uh, being overweight is really just like a surface level description of how we look. And yeah, it doesn't say anything about our personality. So like things you wouldn't say, right? Is like, oh, having diabetes is who I am, or having a cold is or the flu is who I am. No, it's just the current state that you're in. Um, and other things like that hold us back from um, believing in ourselves to uh, pursue weight loss is some misconceptions. Like my genes won't allow me to lose weight, or the other thing is like it's not physically possible for me. Whoops, went the wrong way. But actually, I mean, if you believe in physics and the law of thermodynamics, which means energy cannot be created or destroyed, it can only be converted. So, what our bodies are actually doing is converting the energy from food into movement or any sort of bodily process or body heat. And if our body doesn't get the energy from the food, then it's going to get it from somewhere else. Ideally, we'd like it to be fat, right? So, that will essentially cause weight loss. Uh, I don't know if anyone watched The Office. You can type in the chat. I can't see. All right. If you watch The Office, I have not watched The Office, so forgive me, but I do know a lot of the memes. Okay, so I just don't want to. Well, uh, I think you actually do because, with the prevalence of a lot of diseases out there, I haven't watched it either. That's a classic scene. Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of so I just find a lot of their memes funny. So yeah, I actually think that you do because there's a lot of you know uh issues or diseases that comes with being big, and for me the biggest thing was musculoskeletal issues, right? Like I had knee pains, my ankles hurt, like if I was on my feet for long, like I'd really feel it different. Now I can stand for much longer without the same pain that I was experiencing before. But yeah, and also like low back pain, that's a big thing. Just like if okay, so I lost 75 pounds, right? Like if you were to pick up like one of those 45-pound weight, like I think about it sometimes as like I was walking around with like a little less than two of these a day. Like that, so no wonder I had so much musculoskeletal issues. Um, can anyone, I'm gonna check in with you guys. Can anyone think of any misconceptions? type it in the chat. I can't really see the uh thing, but anyone have any misconceptions they can think of that holds people back from believing? And while you guys are typing that, I'm going to keep going on. Uh, okay, and the final reason. Well, there's tons of reasons why, but this is the final one that I'm going to go into is that we're just we're too smart for our own good, right? It's and what that means is like we're really good at coming up with reasons why we can't commit to losing weight. And there's just it's just very logical, but at the same time, even with all that logic, it's also essentially an excuse, right? But hopefully, you know, we don't succumb to like our like hopefully we're not becoming our own worst enemy in that case. All right. So next is why you would want to lose weight. I picked this quote from Simon Sinek. I liked some of the stuff he says. When we know why we do what we do, everything falls into place. When we don't, we have to push things into place. So, um, yeah, it's so I knew my why for losing weight. The biggest reason was how I felt, like physically, like playing tennis was really difficult, and um, just having various musculoskeletal or pain in the knees or low back. Um, Another thing, actually, like I remember being overweight, getting out of cars was really difficult, and like getting into cars, uh, this like sedans. Previous failures, comparing yourself to others, not expressing gratitude for your progress. Yeah. Not embracing the process and looking for instant results. Yeah. Yeah. Those are all definitely misconceptions that I'm assuming, Sergio, you were tying shoes, not trying. Yeah. Tying shoes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tying. That was the same. So, I don't know if you guys experienced this. I assume if you did, it might have been the same that like when I went to go tie my shoes, my stomach was in the way. So what would happen, it would push my lungs up and like I'd essentially be holding my breath as I'm trying to tie my shoe. And then I'd have to like kind of stop tying my shoe, and for so I can get a gasp of air and then go back and, finish tying my shoes. Yeah. Yeah, that was a big wake up call for me too. Um, it was also like really frustrating to feel that and like I was like I'm not doing anything that um that difficult. I'm just tying my shoes. And so I got frustrated about how that felt. Um so another why is increased quality of life, gaining more confidence, more prepared for like emergency situations. Like God forbid, what if you had to run from danger or run to help someone? Hopefully it doesn't have to happen, but like it would be practically useful, or it'd be really useful in those situations. Or also running to catch a train or a bus. I remember I was late for a flight once, and the shame of being overweight, avoiding family. Yeah, it is really like it, like being self-conscious about your weight is very a real thing. Like um, there's a word for that. Physique anxiety. I think it's called social physique and anxiety. I pitched my. Oh wow, wow. Yeah. Um, so Bridget said, I pitched my mirrors at my heaviest. I can sympathize with that. Um, being in I don't know if you guys ever felt like this, like being in photos, like when you see a picture, well, when I saw a picture of myself, like I was like, I can't believe that's me. Because like, oh, to give you some more, for those of you who don't know, I was also a tennis player. Yeah, yeah, photos are rough. I was a tennis player for a very long time, so but I was overweight as a kid, but also played tennis and lost weight that way too. But then I gained weight again, as why I'm here today. But seeing myself being so big through a photo was just like I didn't believe that was me. Um, and yeah. So another reason why we'd want to lose weight is the risk of insulin resistance and diabetes, cardiovascular issues, again, musculoskeletal issues. You know, uh, those are sort of what. Oh, some benefits, some more benefits that I experienced when I lost the weight. Okay, I have my pots and pans in you know, a cupboard, like in a cabinet that's like low to the ground. And in order to get these pots and pan in and out, I have to like squat down into these places. And every time I did that, I was just winded and like it had a really difficult time getting those in and out. I already said less pain in the knees. The other thing was the better ability to play tennis. I was a tennis player. I played really I I like to believe I played pretty high level tennis, and to lose that ability was a little disheartening. Um and then to gain it back was pretty uplifting. I'm pretty happy that I can move like I used to. And also giving you energy through the day, right? Like um just not even energy in the sense of like awake, but like energy that you can like get through the day. All right, and then I want to talk about some of the motivations when it comes to my weight loss. So there's intrinsic and there's extrinsic. Um, Intrinsic is you do the exercise because it makes you feel good and you want to keep doing it because it makes you, again, because you makes you feel good. Uh, Extrinsic is like you're trying to achieve an outcome, right? Maybe it's getting a trophy in a competition, or maybe you will reward yourself um, X meal or X clothes or um, something as a sense of reward. Um, but I wouldn't say like so extrinsic you can so when it comes to extrinsic motivations, I wouldn't rely on extrinsic motivation, right? I see it more as a support towards the intrinsic motivation because the intrinsic is what gets you to keep going. But um, when it comes to like appearance, right? It does help you feel an extra boost of what you're doing is working, right? So not only is it feeling good, but now on top of that, like there's this reinforcing motivation that's helping. So really rely on intrinsic, right? Letting yourself feel good from actually you know, sticking to that meal plan or sticking to that workout plan. And then on when you do later, I'll talk about doing photos that, that extrinsic will help push you more towards the continuing as well. And I'm gonna go into how I tried to put down as much as I could of like I'm sure there's things I'm missing of what I did, but I tried to put down as much as I could. Number one, being in a caloric deficit. That that is um, very important. I could probably repeat that a bunch of times. But essentially, in order to lose weight, obviously we have to burn more calories than we take in. Um, Good news is that only 80% of what we do, like if toward what I did at least, towards my weight loss, 80% of it was nutrition, and the other 20% was working out. So, um, it is much more easier to not eat 500 calories than it is to just go and burn 500 calories. Like, you know, I don't know how many people here would, I'm trying to think of something that's 500 calories, maybe like a slice of pizza. Would you rather eat a slice of pizza and then go burn it off by running like, I don't know, like 5, 10 miles? Or would you rather just not eat the pizza and kind of relax a bit? Option, I don't know if anyone, yeah, right. It's it's much more easier to just stay away from it. It's easier said than done, but it is easier to than pizza is tempting. The pizza is tempting, but I hate cardio. Yeah. Um, and I don't remember who it was, but someone was saying in a previous call about the Stairmaster. I've been liking the Stairmaster. So shout out to Samara. I know she likes the Stairmaster. But anyway, okay. So when it comes to caloric de when it comes to a caloric deficit, it's gonna be normal to feel some hunger. Uh, And Courtney also says she hates the Stairmaster. Uh, it's gonna be normal to have some sort of hunger, right? Because essentially, your body's not going to get the same amount of food that it once was, especially if you were eating at a large surplus. Even if you just drop to maintenance, your body will feel like it's hungry, right? Like, um, Stairmaster. Dustin said Stairmaster is a death sentence. I feel I struggle so much with it. Yeah, so I guess a really quick tangent on the Stairmaster. I literally started by going to level one, like for the longest time. And that I hit my zone two, zone three cardio. I guess I'm going to, but anyway, I started really low and I increased it really slow, and that's what helped me. Um, Things you want to focus on in order to stay satiated is protein, fiber, and healthy fats. Um, More things are drink a gallon of water. There's a specific number. I think it's like 100 ounces that we should all be drinking. But 128 is a good number, one which is a gallon of water. Um, Shout out to Samara for reminding me to drink my water. Um, and also look out for foods that are high in volume and low in calories. Some examples are zucchini, melons, strawberries. A lot of the berries are really good options. They also come with antioxidants. Um, and Samara said, oh, you're talking about the Stairmaster. I started slow too and increased slowly through the levels. I also increased the duration slowly. My trick is to use my core to lift my leg each step and push as much weight into the heels. Yeah. For me, I just went on autopilot for the Stairmasters. I've been trying to hit zone two and zone three. Um, Eat slower. Um, I don't know how many times. So it'll be different, obviously, for different foods, but in the range of like soup, you're not gonna drink eat chew a lot. But when it comes to like general foods, you want to try to aim anywhere for between 20 and 40 times of chewing. So what that does is the actual act of chewing will kind of tell your brain, hey, we're getting a lot of food because like look at how much we're chewing. So try to chew more, whatever it is you're eating, because once it go down, if it goes down quick, chances are you're not really when it goes down quick, that means it's harder you'll put down more food quicker too on top of that. Soups are a great idea. For a while, I did veggie soups. I love that for some meals, and also putting some tofus um and Sergio saying Netflix streaming with a Stairmaster is a good way to up your time. Yeah. Um I think I've been I so it's really hard for me when it comes to cardio. I can't do anything else other than listen to music. Like I've tried podcasts, audiobooks. I just couldn't do it. Music is the best time for cardio. Other tips when it comes to uh and Samara only scrolls on the Stairmaster. Other tips are high fiber foods. So like beans are really important. Any veggies, obviously. You want to aim for like 25 to 40 grams a day. If you're able to handle more, and pack it in your meal plan, by all means, go for it to make yourself feel uh, more full. Spread the day's calorie evenly between meals. So, um, I like to do for what I did, I tried to keep my meals even throughout the day because um, I just wanted to make sure I was getting sort of like the same amount of food every time. Uh, there is, however, the King Prince Popper effect, where if you eat more in the day, medium amount in the for lunch and like the least amount in dinner, from that is supposed to also help towards fat loss. But when I was doing it, I was having trouble with feeling hungry at night. So having the evenly spread meals really helped me. And also balancing the macros for each meal to whatever your macros are that your coach gives you or that you work out with your coach. And also when it comes to figuring out your macros, I think some of you have already saw John go over making a meal plan for people. This I'm going to go over again. It's not, well, not exactly how to do it, but that the TD calculator is super important for figuring out what your maintenance calories is, and then from there, you can start with a 500 calorie deficit and which is a good rule of thumb. You might be hungry, so maybe you can lower it maybe 400, 300, but generally a 500 for most people is a pretty good deficit. And then also when it comes to picking your activity level, it's really easy to overestimate what your actual activity level is. So I would recommend going one level less than what you actually think you do. Um, because again, it might give you numbers that are a little bit higher than you actually need. And when it comes for tools, these are the only two tracking apps I've ever used, and they're sort of the biggest and most well known in the fitness scene. Chronometer is from Canada. MyFitnessPal is from the US. Chronometer is the cheaper one of the two, and you're able to track your macros for free. And when it comes to MyFitnessPal, the macros of functionality is hidden behind their paid subscription. And so, but the nice thing about MyFitnessPal is that you can connect it to your coach's if your coach is using Trainerize, you can connect it to Trainerize and your coach can see what you're eating. Chronometer also has that feature, but it's also behind a cost uh um like you have to pay for that. Ashley says, what were some of your trigger foods you haven't had in the house, or else you won't be able to stop eating them? I mean, honestly, like any vegan junk food, right? Like, uh, like Let me think. Like once, like trying to think of a specific food. Okay. I don't know if you guys ever had hippies. They hippies were really good. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, me too. I think it's the salt that and the bold flavor. Hippies changed their formula, which was a lot better. I mean, is a lot better now, and it's even more addicting. So, like, I can easily, all right, this is probably really bad on a fat loss summit, but I could easily like put that away. But hippies are really good. That's my trigger food. Trying to think of another one. Um, so for and that's savory. For sweet, I guess like the grocery at my the store brand like accidentally vegan cookies were really addicting. They're like $3. Anyway. Okay, tracking your food. Um, when you do find out your macros and your calorie intake, uh, well, I chose to eat what I really like, pick out what I really wanted for 2 weeks, right? And then after the 2 weeks passed, like I tried to see how my body was responding. And once I saw that my body was responding um, positively, then I was able to switch things in out a little bit. And like for instance, switch out my lunch for instead of having a shake, I switch it to like this chocolate uh Jello pudding mix that that John has in his um oh my God, I'm losing in the recipe book. There we go. So I was having that. I switched out my protein shake for the protein pudding, and I was eating that for a long time. And um, so yeah, when don't I wouldn't say swap out everything, but swap out like one or two meal, like one meal, and then go a week, swap out another meal, and like kind of slowly change it up. And then here's some example of macros, tofu, carbs, I mean tofu, chickpeas, and walnuts for your protein, carbs, and fats. Um, and when it comes to fiber is in this category, the carbs. Beans will give you both the carbs and the fiber. That'll help you stay full. Don't use these numbers. These are just examples that there are different ratios you can use. But when it comes to fat loss, you really want to use a higher protein. So anywhere like so either this lower or moderate carb you want to focus on. This is from TDEcalculated.net. Again, don't use these numbers, but I just wanted to put this here that you can use different ratios depending on where you are um, in your journey. Um, Protein. Aim for about zero point 0.8 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of lean body mass, not total body mass. Okay, so about that, I was 250, right? Zero point 0.8, I'm just gonna do the math really quick, right? Zero point 0.8, oh, oh, where is, oh, okay. I'm unable to see. Anyway, whatever zero point 0.8 of 250 pounds is a lot higher than what I should be eating. So my lean body mass, I think was about like one, I think it was about 170 at the time. Um yeah, of lean body mass when I was 250 and like I would say one maybe 180, 170 was my lean body mass. And um, I essentially tried to hit 144 grams because I didn't want to go off of 200, the zero point 0.8 percent of 250, but I did zero point 0.8 of 175 instead because it would have been too much protein for what I needed for my fat loss. I just needed enough to keep my my muscle mass, and also it helps you stay satiated and keep your muscle mass, like I said. Macros, some of these are the common supplements that are very that I learned to take. Vitamin D was really important for me. I was always really low in that, so I started taking vitamin D supplements. Magnesium was really important because I was cramping from all my weightlifting, and that helped me stop cramping. Omega 3s for the brain, B complex, which is not my only B12 supplement. I also uh, have a spray as well, and a probiotic supplement, which thank you, Samara, for suggesting that to me, and a multivitamin. So micros are also important because it can help you feel more energized throughout the day and um, even make you feel or reduce the hunger um, because what was I saying? Okay. Um, so yeah, it'll help you reduce the hunger because even though you're in a caloric deficit, you still need the same amount of vitamins and minerals as we go. Okay, and sanity, right? So you can be, I could have stayed in a deficit for that 7 months, but I mean, is that really practical? Not really. So you don't want to even once a week of an unplanned meal is a little bit too much in my opinion. So I stuck with one meal every 2 weeks. That was unplanned, right? So um, you know, one meal a week is a little bit much, and you could be affecting your progress. I stuck with every 2 weeks, and what I thought it did is it taught my body that, hey, even though we're in a deficit, we still are getting food. So, it's okay to keep burning, the excess fat, or we don't want to preserve the body weight. It's okay to keep burning the fat. So that's why I liked having my sanity meal like every like 2 weeks. Uh, Sanity meal is a name I just came up with it like an hour ago. Uh, Also, another thing was drink. I drank diet soda. It's not the healthiest, but I will say it helped me stay sane during my deficit. Um, so if it my goal was if it kept me on track, then I'm gonna have it. I measured with obviously body scale, but here are some example scales. I love DEXA scans. Um, so. I should have done a DEXA scan at the start of my weight loss, but when you start a weight loss, you don't really feel confident measuring anything. So then I hit my goal weight and I went and got a DEXA scan, and I was really happy with the results. And then 6 months later, I did another DEXA scan, and I was happy more because I saw that I put on muscle. But anyway, this is probably DEXA scans are going to be the most accurate and practical from getting your body composition. I think there's one more form where like you use water to measure your body, but to get access to that is a little difficult. But anyway, those are expensive and difficult to find. But so the next best are scales that sort of send a slight electrical impedance, they call it. It's not the best, or it's not very, very accurate, but it will help you see a trend. That's the main point. Is the any one, single data point is not important. It's the combination of all the numbers putting together, telling you whether or not if what you're doing is right or wrong. Also, I picked these scales. I have a different scale, but I like these scales because it adds your hands into it, so there's a little bit more of like the impedance going through your body. I think this in body is like 300, and then like this GE is like 200 or something, anywhere in that range. I assume there's some sort of I don't use any of these, but I assume there's some sort of feature where you can connect to your phone. Um, so yeah, I weighed myself every day. I wasn't perfect, but what I was doing is building the routine of weighing myself every day. And the more you weigh yourself, the better you can see the trend. Um, Again, don't worry about a single reading. You want to worry about the trends. And when you do weigh yourself, there's many different factors that affect the number, like the water in your body, the food that's still being processed, any sort of waste content, salt that makes you hold on to water, the glycogen, for women, their menstrual cycle. If you use a different scale, that's a big one. You could get totally different readings pretty often if you're constantly changing scales. Um, but yeah, so what I think I repeated myself in this slide, but I'm going to move on to the next one. Here's my chart. This is from Chronometer. Um, so this is from the end of 2024. I didn't measure myself, but I started to as the beginning of 2025, and you can see all the different, uh, uh, data points that I put down. I think some days I at one point I tried to log myself a couple times a day, but it didn't really make sense. And here we are, uh, uh, early January or late January. Well, now it's February. But yeah, that this is you can do this in Chronometer. I highly recommend Chronometer in that sense. Uh, I pay for Chronometer. It is the cheaper of the two between MyFitnessPal and that. But yeah, if you measure every day, it gives you a chance to, still have data points as time goes on. Food scales are super important. It helps you be more accurate. You don't want to use your eye. Um, you want to try to use the same scale for everything. And 100 grams is the same as like 100 milliliters. And I also challenge you to measure one serving of peanut butter with your eye. It is more difficult than you can imagine, and if you do get it right, you might be surprised. Um, okay, when it comes to weight loss, there's a lot of things that, obviously involved. So holding a calendar is super important, because being able to track not just, the rest of your life, but when you're going to train, how often you're going to train, prepping, when you're going to prep your gym bag, right? Because sometimes that takes time to put together what you need for the gym, prepping the food that you're going to like going to buy it. Maybe you have to go cook it. Also buying the food, where you're going to buy it from, what you're going to buy, and then also eating the food, right? Once you put it all together, now you actually have to eat it. That could be difficult to, how you're going to fit eating the food between your different responsibilities. But yeah, it can feel like a puzzle, but you try your best, and I would recommend picking a calendar that you can have access on your phone. So when you're on the go, um, hopefully I'm not taking up too much time here. Um, uh, But yeah, the you want access on your phone and computer, because the on the computer you get more features to do things for your calendar, but on the phone you can be anywhere and look at your calendar. So I used to have this calendar on my wall, but the only times I could see what's on my calendar is when I was home, but I'd be out somewhere and I wouldn't be able to, see what I have going on. So digital calendars all the way. Creative planning, essentially figuring out how to readjust your schedule when you need to, because we would all love a consistent routine, but I mean, I don't know how often, how many people out there do have a consistent routine that's, um, that's not changing. Mine changes a lot, so you always want to be, creative about when am I gonna be able to hit the gym, when do I eat, when do I yada yada yada. Um, what activities can I do in parallel, right? So maybe you can like for instance do a chore, like for instance laundry while you go to the gym, right? Or maybe your laundromat is really like next door to your gym. You can do both at the same time. So that's also part of being creative too. Uh, Taking progress photos. These are my progress photos. Um, I highly recommend doing a front, side, and back, and doing it once a week because uh, you can see changes slowly if you do once a week. Like even within like 2 or 3 weeks, you do see changes if you're able to be consistent, and it really can be motivating to see those changes. That's what I was kind of referring to when it comes to uh the extrinsic, the appearance being motivated. Like I was seeing changes, so I was like, yeah, I can keep going. I can do this. And when you're taking photos, make sure the setup is the same spot, same location, same lighting, and the time of day, preferably. Essentially, you just want something that you can repeat over and over and over. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Miranda. Miranda says that my transformation blows her mind, but thank you. Um, and like John said in his presentation, resistance training, and I put it 3 times because it's so important. Uh, it really helped me sort of not burn or not lose my muscle mass at least. And in fact, I'm pretty sure I put on muscle in my deficit. Probably wasn't a lot, but I think it was more than what I had initially starting. So I felt pretty happy with that. It increases your metabolic processes in your body by having more mitochondria, which helps you burn more calories, and yes, prevents weight loss. Building a support, so important. At least just letting your friends and family know that you're going to be working on this weight loss journey. I think it does a couple of things. It kind of pins you to the idea that you're doing it, and the other thing is lets them know that if they offer you something, you're gonna say no, and they're gonna be like, oh yeah, okay, that's right, that's you because you said you were gonna be on a weight loss. Uh, and and things I would do is I would bring my own food to my friend's house, right? We'd say, hey, let's watch a movie. Sure. Is it okay if I bring my food? Yeah, I don't care. Chances are if they're your friends and family, they're not gonna care. But I would do things like that. And also think of try to meet up with people outside of mealtime. Maybe you guys can go on a walk and all that. Walks are great. I think I some of my most stimulating conversations are done through walks. Um, and yeah, of course, the vegan squad community, we're always here to help you support or help support you through your journey. Please join us. Um, Cut out alcohol. Alcohol is considered the fourth uh, macro. Consider the fourth macro. 1 gram is 7 calories 1 gram of alcohol is 7 calories, and then we compare it to the other gram of protein, carbs, and fat, which is 4, 4, and 9. Um, the the problem with alcohol is that it can reduce your inhibition, which means like, well, it does reduce your inhibition. Which means like you might say okay to eating this junk food or what have you. And also our bodies want to burn, so our bodies will break down the alcohol into a thing called acetate, and our bodies will want to burn that acetate before we get to the fat. And even before we get to the fat, we want to burn that glucose. So it's acetate, then the glucose, then the fat. And another tip is to reduce friction. There's a couple of tips. Like for example, if you have a food scale, you put away your food scale, it might not serve you to keep putting it away, taking it out, putting it away. Find a dedicated spot so that whenever you need to, you just plop whatever food you have on you right onto the scale. You take it off, so it's easy to measure it really quick. The game is to reduce the friction so that you're not given any more reasons to not want to measure your food. Um, Keeping a gym bag, having one ready to go at all times, or maybe even having multiple gym bags ready to go at all times. Um, and I am a big fan of pre-cut veggies because it saves you time, and you can easily measure it just by sprinkling it onto whatever bowl in your on top of your food scale. Um, and also consider what your goal weight. This should have been like one of the first things, but you want to think about like when do you want to stop losing weight because it can get really addicting to see the number go down and down and down and down, but also risky if you don't have a coach or any supervision at all. So, you know, um, for example, I started at 251. My first goal was I was gonna hit 190. Then I hit 190. I was like, okay, I can do 180. And then went to 180, and I was like, I'm pretty close. I went to 175, and I was like, this is just inside the where was I? 175 at 6'1". I was well in the healthy body, healthy BMI, which is you want to take a grain of salt when it comes to BMI. But I was happy at that weight, and I could have gone lower if I really wanted to, but I just didn't feel like it would have served me to go any lower than that. And then, oh man, I'm sorry, I'm like taking up a lot of time. I was supposed to leave 10 minutes, but uh, reverse
You're
dieting.
done.
So
You're good. No
I'm
worries.
good. So when it comes to when you're done with the deficit, right? Now you have to reverse diet. Well, how do you do that? Well, essentially, hopefully you're doing it with a coach, or if you already know how, you want to reverse diet because you just taught yourself how to eat in the deficit. But now you have to eat in a way that you can tell your body, hey, we're gonna eat the normal amount of calories that my weight should be having, which can be really difficult. It's like you want to be careful with how you reverse that diet. By the way, this GIF is from the the cha-cha slide. Um, Whenever he says reverse, reverse, I never know what I'm supposed to do. So if anyone here knows what you're supposed to do during that, please tell me in the chat, or if these people are actually doing what you're supposed to be doing. Um, in closing, uh, believe in yourself. Um, you are worth it, and you matter. Keep looking to gain more knowledge. More knowledge is more power. I even encourage you to help others. Maybe something I said today may help you, and hopefully you can use that to help someone else and further let it solidify in your own mind. And of course, reach out to us. Um, and hopefully my talk has been helpful. My name's Coach Lynn, and one of the coaches at Vegan Squad. Um, we're super excited to work with you guys. Um, and please reach out if you'd like to work with any of our coaches, wonderful coaches. Um, I think I am going to cha-cha slide, jump with a 180 turn, then reverse that jump with another one. Oh, I think I'm gonna tear up the dance floor next time I have to do the cha-cha slide. I'm gonna pass it off to Alex. That was the end of my presentation.
Cool. Hell yeah, brother. You crushed it. Thank you. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
It was super detailed and I learned a lot. Did everyone learn a lot? Please give him a round of applause. It was awesome. Thank you, Lynn, for your time. It was very, very thorough and it was cool to see your journey and just all the knowledge that you gained from working with your coach for so long. So I'm happy that you now have all that knowledge to pass forward and you see that you're super knowledgeable. So good
Thank
job.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.